I'm David Gosling, I'm 32 years old and I'm a naval architect. There are three different areas that naval architects work in. There are those that design the ship, there are those that check the designs and make sure that they're built correctly, and there are those that monitor the ship through the life of the ship and make sure that it's kept to a reasonable standard. I fall into the category of checking the ships through their life. So I go on board, I monitor what's happening, I keep an eye on the structure, the machinery, all the equipment, the safety equipment, and make sure that it all works properly and as safe as can be. So typically you'd go on board and talk to the engineer, find out how it's going, find out if there's any problems he's been having. You'd go through and inspect his engine room, check to see if there's any exhaust leaks, for instance, if there's any problems with the engine heating up or getting too cold. You'd also go around and check the structure of the vessel. So you'd be looking for any cracking or any damage that may have occurred over the life of the vessel. Generally, you're comparing back to standards, be it Australian standards or international standards, depending on what's appropriate to the vessel you're looking at. Sometimes you have to detain the ship to get the work done before it leaves the port. In my current role, I work for an international class society, so we generally are looking at the larger end of the market. In the last 12 months, I've been out at sea on naval warships, some of the mine hunters for the Australian Navy. I've been out on bulk coal carriers, oil tankers, product tankers. I've been on some high-speed ferries. I didn't know about naval architects. I had never heard of one until I was in Year 12. So I went over to the University of New South Wales, went to their careers day and thought, this looks interesting. The course that I did was through the University of New South Wales. It's a common course to start with mechanical engineering, and then at the end of your first 2 years you can specialise. I chose to specialise in ships, so it's a 4-year degree. There is demand for naval architects. They're usually looking for new talent to bring on board with new ideas and ways to evolve their business. As a surveyor, they're generally looking for people that have got a broad knowledge of ships and the systems as well. But with a couple of years' experience under your belt, you can get into it without too many dramas. There is a pretty good demand. Through the Royal Institution of Naval Architects, there's a fairly good network of job ads. The qualifications from Uni New South Wales and Marine College are internationally recognised. I've got friends who have, since leaving university, are working all around the world. There's some working in the Mediterranean, there's some working in Europe, some in America. Personally, my job has taken me right around the world this year. The best bits I find about the job is the challenge. Every ship you go on is slightly different. That's where I like the job. There's all the problem solving that goes along with it and trying to make a contribution. Another perk is that you can end up cruising around up and down the coast or around the harbour for a few hours on somebody's $1 million yacht and making sure that it all works. That's a very tough way to spend your days. It's very expensive to run a lot of these large ships. You could have 20 crew on board, you could have 250,000 tonnes of cargo sitting there on board that's waiting to go somewhere. When a ship breaks down and they've got 5 hours to get it back out to sea, you've got to solve the problem. So there is a fair bit of pressure for getting it done and getting the ship moving. I'd be quite happy to do this job for the rest of my life. I've no real intention of leaving this industry. I love my job. It's a good job. It's a very good job.